Thank you. So, Mr. Bassi Uko, you know, the first one was Kufre. Now this is Uko Bassi, all the way from Akwa Ibom too, you know. First and foremost, Mr. Bassi, I understand you have a methodology and materials background. How are you able to merge it with the subsea engineering?
Basically, you know, even in the first semester, a lot of things we did, especially integrity and project.
Yeah.
We did all those stuff in Futo, which I'm so sure you were.
Okay.
Those stuff, yeah. So integrity management happened to be one of the best stuff I ever did.
Okay.
And subsea construction, they're all relevant. Pipelines,
Okay.
yeah, all those stuff, corrosion and all that. So scaling through those stuff wasn't that difficult, but it was kind of challenging because of the, let's say, course modules and the way everything was structured.
Okay, a quick one. You've studied in Futo, and I know what it looks like studying in Futo.
Yes, sir.
Now you've studied in University of Aberdeen, Subsea Engineering. How would you compare, or in a few words, just give us a brief compare and contrast between the lecturing style of Futo and the lecturing style of University of Aberdeen? Which one, you know, would you prefer?
Hey, come on, I'm so sure you wouldn't like to hear that.
Come on, speak.
Yeah, but okay, I wouldn't like to compare two different countries from different region, development, technology, and all that. But I would say it's still a crash problem.
Okay.
Yeah, Futo was still crash. A lot of course modules, even in your final year, you have to do like 6-7 courses, and here you are doing 4 course modules, and the 4 looks like 10. Yeah, I must say, like, especially the second semester, that you have to do like 2-3 coursework. How many did we do? We did like 4 coursework.
Okay.
One course like 2, and man, the lecturing was still, it wasn't funny, but the technology really helped us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Now we'll come to the entrepreneur, the leader, the project manager. He's all embedded in one. There's Mr. Elvis, the Sage, Osung. And besides, let me remind you guys, the Sage is his company name. In as much as we call him the Sage, he has the full rights to that name. So, Mr. Elvis, everyone who comes across you has one thing to say or the other. Some will say he's so funny, some will say he's so serious, some will say he's so this. How have you been able to handle all these multi-personalities within yourself?
Life is actually multifaceted. If you approach life from one perspective, you would probably not actually get an all-round view of what life is. So life is something you have to look at from different panorama. Now, basically, talking about the Subsea program, it's really interesting because it gives you a broad spectrum of the energy industry from the management, design, and construction perspective. And that basically is engineering. Now, the choice of Subsea University of Aberdeen was not a difficult one because I realized that the course model here was very robust and it was giving me reasonable detail into what subsea engineering was all about. So coming out with a degree in subsea engineering from University of Aberdeen equips me a lot. So I could be anywhere in the energy industry offshore. And I'm privileged to come from Akwa Ibom State. I'm privileged to come from Nigeria. And that is where the hub of activity in the Gulf of Guinea regarding oil exploration is taking place. So it was a nice time here.
Okay. One more thing. I remember being in your project group and there were some words that always came out from your mouth. One was compartmentalization, the other one was error plus error is equal to erroneous, you know. How are you able to formulate these words? Does it just come to you, or do you prepare at home these words, or you just think of a speech you're going to make and you, come on, just give us insight. How do these words come?
Life for me is an art. You just allow yourself to flow with the reading. Having been involved in working with people at different levels, I enjoy managing projects because I interface with a lot of people, and interfacing with people, you just have to inspire people differently. What works for A will not work for B. So these words just come out of my drive, my desire to inspire people to deliver on projects.
All right, Aberdeen, watch out for the Sage very soon. Thank you very much. So we've got Mr. Agba Ambrose, aka the Sheriff. And let me remind you, he was the one that was tagged as the risk engineer who is adding risk to the project. Please, how are you able to cope with that tag? You know, for me, for someone else, it might be something so insulting, you know, saying that the risk engineer of the project is adding risk to the project. How are you able to cope with that tag, you know?
First of all, I would like to start by saying subsea engineering as a whole has given me a lot of insight into the oil and gas industry. Though coming from a background that does not really have to do with subsea, coming to Aberdeen, should I say, if you permit me to use this word, starting from scratch, trying to learn everything from the basis, it wasn't very easy, And pertaining to what you said, the risks, adding more risks to the project, yeah, I think it was it's a kind of degrading word, but I think that word really inspired me,
Okay.
I used it, I turned it around from being a challenge, to being something that brought out the best out of me.
Okay.
Because, looking at the background where we came from and everything, and coming to a different country, coming to a different kind of setup, you need time to learn so much. You need time to move, to move with the trends. You need time also to keep pace, with the way things are moving. So I think that was my period of tutelage.
All right. One more question before I leave. I know from the side of the world where we come from, the fact that you cross the borders and you appear on a picture in a foreign land, expectations are high. So how have you been able to cope with the expectations of your folks back home? When they see your picture on Facebook, wow, this guy they enjoy, this guy don't hammer. Guy would expect nothing less than distinction. How have you been able to cope with those expectations, even with the demands like, guys, send me pounds? How have you been able to cope with all those expectations, and those demands?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit challenging, but first of all, when you start looking at someone who has not crossed the border, the way they look at you crossing the border, coming to a different world, they feel everything is just like bed of roses. You wake up in the morning, people serve you a cup of tea, and you just get out of your room, and everything seems easy. But if you've come to this environment, you know that things are not always easy. It's even, to me, it's even quite challenging, more than when I was in Nigeria, because in Nigeria most things we do relax and everything, but that's not the scenario here. The scenario here is that you have to keep pace. You have to, like, for example, the idea of like Nigerian time, when we came here, we had to try to adjust away from that mentality of having a Nigerian time, trying to be early to work, trying to be early to classes. It was quite challenging, and I also use this as an opportunity to tell folks out there who are planning to come to a foreign land to study that it's not a bed of roses as they think, but I think they will be able to make it up. Just need planning. You just need to devote so much of your time.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Thank you very much. And the last but not the least, we've got my friend. My very good friend. I got to know him late in the session, second semester when we happened to be in the same group for the pipelines. I call him Engineer Ginger, but his name actually is Lucas. So, Mr. Lucas, first and foremost, people say you're so enthusiastic. Where does that passion, where does that energy come from? Where do you get that from? Because sometimes we get to class, everyone is just tired, bored, waiting for the lectures to end, but you're just there firing questions. I mean, how do you get that? Where does that drive come from?
I've not actually come to see myself as an enthusiastic person, but with just what you just told me now, and I just maybe getting to realize myself now. But I always believe that if you want to do something, go for it. No matter what it takes, go for it. That's just my principle, and maybe that's the driving factor that people actually seeing outside. But I've not come to see myself as an enthusiastic person. But with this statement now, I just maybe started to discover myself because of what you just said.
Okay, by the way, you look good. You look good in this outfit. You're looking shaven. I mean, the ladies will be dying to have a man like you. I have to be serious about that outside. Now, secondly, in a few words or in a few sentences, what could you say, or what are the prospects you expect after studying this course? What are the things that you expect after studying this course?
Well, first of all, I would say Subsea Engineering is a wide course, and I'm coming from petroleum engineering background, and when I chose University of Aberdeen to study Masters in Subsea, I was actually thinking that the program is going to be specifically petroleum, and basically we work like offshore and we do all these FPSO activities because I love rig work. But when I came here, I just realized that Subsea was like big, and when I mean it was big, It has risers, it has pipeline, it has integrity aspect, it has subsea control. Before you start to know it, from petroleum engineering background, didn't do much of mechanical, but we are not into mechanical. I didn't much of electrical. I was not into electrical aspects, subsea electronic modules, SCEM. I was like, God, you know. But all those things were like a stage in life that we all have to pass through to become the real engineer, the real subsea engineer that the world are actually looking for. Now, after like going through all those different compartmentalization.
Compartmentalization, I understand. That's the Sage word.
I'm being real compressed, you know, without the erroneous aspect.
No, you know, when you say erroneous, that means it's double error, but I don't think it happened that way.
I think without the erroneous aspect.
Yeah.
And I believe God has actually like taken us this far, and from this stage now is forward ever, backwards never.
Wow.
You know, we expect the best because we always believe that our best is yet to come. Now, at this stage we are now is just the money-making stage. You know, if you're talking to anybody here, it's strictly pounds and dollars. How much do you have to pay? Because we have all the whole knowledge packed into us. We just want an environment, a company, a working company, not just a company, a live company that we could like put all the skills into it and now grow ahead of the company.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Lucas, for your time, and I expect to see the best of you later.
Thank you. Okay, what I'll just say is that for the young people coming to the subsea industry that's just coming to the Subsea Master Program, I'll tell you that one, that we're prepared for the tasks ahead. You know, it's not going to be as easy as they see. Then for us going out into the labor market, for us going out into the favor market, I wish us luck, I wish us favor, and above all, God protection and God's hand. Because if God is involved in anything, it must actually like pull through.
That's Lucas for you. Lovely tie. Ambrose Agba Sharif, want to say something?
I just want to say one word. For you to achieve great in life, you just have to be focused and focused and focused. That is the key word. For being focused.
All right. The man that is dependable at all times. It doesn't settle like all this kind of soil. You know, it's okay. Is that your word? Are you laughing?
Okay, you're still making comment, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to say one word. I'm going to say like two things. Yeah, Sheriff said, be focused. Honestly, be focused. You need to have that resilience. That's it. Then
that's a material man, resilience.
Yeah. So at the same time, remember to have time on your side. Have fun, like me.
For me, it's been good. It's been God. It's been wonderful. I believe the sky is not a limit. It's a stepping stone to greatness. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So the Sage, a word before we leave.
Well, I thought I had just said a word, but since the camera wants to face me directly, I would categorically say it's God, and God is good. He's the main Oga at the top. He's the one I rely on for everything.
All right.
Success is assured to all of us. We shall all smile in due season.
Yeah. Thank you. That's Subsea Production.